Ooh, we're live. Hey, it's Brooke. Oh, Beehive. I love it. It's cheesy. All right, I have a message today. I don't know if you're ready for it. Brace yourself. Oh, all right. We're going to talk about behaving. Now, I've got to tell you, I've got to kind of preface this conversation. Some of you know my history, some of you do not. My degree is in behavioral science with a minor in elementary education, and I went and taught elementary school for a little while. And I thought for a long time that was a perfect fit for me. I always knew I was meant to teach. I just knew. So I thought that was going to be the path. Well, I get into the classroom and I realize that school is actually designed for well-behaved girls. And I happened to be one of those when I was younger. In my house, it was one of those things like Mama always said, you better mind your P's and Q's. For those of you that are not familiar with this statement, what that means is you need to mind your behavior. You need to be on your best behavior. You need to watch what you're saying. You need to make sure that you are PC and politically correct. You need to make sure that you're not offending anyone, that you're not stepping on any toes, and quite frankly, that you are fitting the mold. You are being what you are expected to be. All right. And this chat today is really going to be about this because I have found that this requirement, this expectation to actually be on your best behavior, to please other people, this thing of minding your P's and Q's is the very thing that causes, here you go, Beanie, look, here it comes. Chucking stuff.
Mama, why do you have...
I'm sorry, I just couldn't aim, Lily. My aim was off.
But Mama, why do you have this fly?
Well, I wanted to get it to you without having to get up.
Well,
Breaking the mold already.
Mama, why do you have this fly?
You get it, girl. You take care of it. Okay. What's it like to be a mom building a business at home? It's like this. Sometimes we throw things across the room. I'm not minding my P's and Q's. I needed to get it to her. Y'all, you know what? Here's the deal. This list of P's and Q's, this list of expectations and things that you need to hit, the thoughts around what you need to do to be enough and to be behaving. It is socially and culturally enforced self-sabotage. I'm going to say that again. This nonsense around whether or not you're behaving, whether or not you're fitting the mold, is culturally enforced self-sabotage. And it is killing your success. It is robbing you of your joy. It is stealing your satisfaction. It is flying away with your fulfillment. All right, so we're going to break this down a little bit. Like I said, I used to teach elementary school, and elementary school in particular, well, really any education, is designed for well-behaved little girls. And I was one of those. I grew up in a house where you were expected to behave a certain way, and I started going out to fancy restaurants when I was young, and there was a certain level of you need to have certain manners. There's certain expectations for behavior. And all of that is fine and dandy until you notice that those rules and those expectations that have been placed on you are actually keeping you from being the fullest expression of yourself. And I wonder how much of our PC culture that expects us to think and speak and act a certain way, that is so overly focused on censorship, on denial of free speech. I wonder how much of that is absolutely killing your creativity, your joy, your flow, your ability to innovate, the possibility and potential for your life, your magnificence, your radiance, your path. Okay? So I was always raised. I'm a rebel at heart, y'all. I think this worked while I was little, and then there came a point where it was like, ha, you're funny. You're really cute. You really expect Brooke Mackey to behave. But this is the expectation, and isn't this often the expectation? Be on your best behavior. Learn all of the strategies. Learn how to fit in. Don't buck the mold. Follow the recipe. It's already been done before, Brooke. Don't you know that the recipe for success is this? Do all these things. Check all of these boxes. Meet all of the criteria, and you're going to be happy and find success. Can I just ask something? Like, maybe I'm crazy, but how many of you have actually found everything that you're looking for following someone else's recipe for your life? How many of you are actually doing work that lights you up in the world? How many of you are the fullest expression of yourself? How many of you can honestly say that you jump out of bed in the morning excited for the day ahead of you? And if you're not, I'm going to throw something out there. Maybe you've been trying too hard to behave. Maybe you've been trying too hard to fit into somebody else's criteria of what is expected of you. Maybe. Something just to try on today. Okay. So, when I think about this, what I actually really think about, mind your P's and Q's, what this really is. Come on, internet. Messing with the interwebs. This is people pleasing, procrastination, and perfectionism. And when you are focused on minding your P's and Q's, when you are focused on making sure that you are on your best behavior, this is really actually what you're obsessed with and what you're entangled with. Are you not? Your best behavior based on whom? Says who? According to what? All right. Do you see that, like, as long as you're trying to fit into the mold, as long as you're trying to do things the right way, you're not actually being true to yourself. You are looking to something external for who and what and how you should be. That is people pleasing at its finest. Now, I've done some videos on the past on people pleasing and how it's literally killing you, and it is. It is robbing you of your joy, your satisfaction, your creativity, your umph, your you-ness, your muchness that is actually necessary on the planet right now. So many of us are so hung up on, like, oh my gosh, am I going to do it perfectly? I don't have clarity yet. We're going to have a clarity talk too. Some of you are so hung up on making sure that shit is perfect, that you are a procrastinator to the extreme. And I can say this because I've seen it in myself. In fact, I was sitting in my living room a number of years back with a group of women going through a John C. Maxwell personal development, Bible-based study that really shifted my life. And I was called out in a big way. I made a comment about perfectionism and procrastination, and this beautiful woman happened to say, well, Brooke, at least I'm willing to take action. You're so obsessed with doing it perfectly, you're not doing anything. Are you doing that? Are you doing that? Are you hung up on, like, it has to look and be and whatever a certain way before I can? Because if you are, you're absolutely shooting yourself in the foot. All right, I'm going to read this comment. Someone says, Facebook user says, I'm afraid to lose my job for being crazy on Facebook, so I hold back. Now, this might apply to you. It might not, but this is what's coming through. If you could possibly destroy a relationship, whether it be a work situation, a friendship, a partnership, whatever, if you could possibly destroy a relationship by being the fullness of you, by being fully self-expressed, If you could, in one conversation or in one instance of you being who you are, destroy that, you never had a relationship in the first place. And if you are not allowed to be the fullness of yourself, is that thing that you are trying so hard to hold on to, that you are trying so hard to cling to, is it actually even for you? Or is it yet another cage that you have been clinging to so that you don't have to step into the fullness of you, so that you don't have to be who you came here to be? Whoo! You know, because this is the thing, like, they want us to mind our P's and Q's. They want us to watch our behavior and be on our best behavior all the time. Why? So we are more digestible. So we are easier to deal with. But did you come here to be easy to deal with, or did you actually come here to be all of you? And what if being all of you is actually like, maybe you're a rebel disruptor too, and you're actually here to be something different, to begin something different that has never been seen on the planet? If you're afraid of being the fullness of yourself in any kind of situation in your life, if you are worried about, I must be on my best behavior, I must twist, I must shrink, how many other places in your life, like, you cannot spot reduce fat, y'all. You can't be like, I don't like this little spot on my stomach, I'm just gonna get rid of this. No. Ladies, you're probably gonna lose your boobs too. Sorry. But you can't spot reduce. You can't spot reduce, and you can't selectively numb either. So you can't numb out the shit emotions that you don't want to feel. You can't numb out the things that, you know, you have labeled as bad or wrong or not okay or whatever. No. You try to block that stuff out. You're blocking out the other extreme as well. So if you are in one space in your life, shrinking, dimming, nullifying, stepping back, reducing, twisting yourself into a pretzel, chopping off bits of you, turning down the volume of you, you're not just doing that in one space. I assure you, you are actually doing that across the board. And so your work today is to go do inventory, to sit down with a damn notebook and get real clear with you. Not with anybody else, not for anybody else, but get real clear with you. Like, look, if I am shrinking myself here, if I'm walking on eggshells in this area, where else am I doing that? Because you're an infinite being and you are multidimensional, and there is an interconnectivity that, whether or not you believe it, you cannot compartmentalize. Okay, so if you're not fully self-expressed in your relationship, if you've got a partnership with someone that has you feel less than, where you feel like you have to shrink yourself, where you can't be all of you, I would venture to guess you're probably not being all of you in your business either, or vice versa. If you are not allowing yourself to feel those bottom level basement emotions and energies that perhaps you don't enjoy the most, fine. You're an infinite being, though, like, you're capable of feeling all things. If you don't want to acknowledge that, you are robbing yourself of the equal but opposite. Now, here's the thing, like, our culture wants to put everybody in a freaking box. I talk about it a lot, that each person is actually this beautiful puzzle piece in a work of art, whole and complete on your own, magnificent, glorious, beautiful. A unique, individuated, unlike any other, as magical as you can be. That's who you are. But you're this puzzle piece, and you are part of a much bigger whole. And when each one of us is lit up in our uniqueness and our beauty and our glory and the fullness of us, and we're not worried about behaving or fitting into someone else's box, and we can actually show up as the fullness of us, that's when reality begins to shift, and shift in a big way. Look, they taught you things like you needed to be on your best behavior so that you would be easier to control, so that you would be easier to deal with, so that you would be more digestible for them. Truth. Did you come here to be that? Did you come here to fit in a box? Did you come here to actually like take all your beauty and all your magnificence and everything that makes you who you are? You know, all these amazing things that other people, let me tell you this, probably have demonized. Things that other people, that because it's so dynamic, because it's so magical, because it's so magnificent, because it's so powerful and potent and beautiful, they couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. So guess what they do? Be on your best behavior, Brooke. We don't act like that, Brooke. You're supposed to be soft-spoken, Brooke. Oh, don't say that. You might offend somebody. Oh, don't go there. Oh my gosh, you're just too much. Oh, that Brooke, she's always possessed or obsessed with something. She just doesn't live in reality. And they'll like twist things. They'll take things that are actually your genius, that are actually your potency, that are actually your magnificence, and they will paint it a different color to try to make it seem like it is not what it is, but it is your job to actually know that, no, I did not come here to behave. I did not come here to fit in a box. I did not come here to have you take my beauty and my curves and my brightness, to have you dim it and make me the same shade of freaking blue as everybody else. That's not what I'm here for. You know, the people that change the world, the people that make history, do so because they are not afraid of behaving badly. In fact, I got to make a banner. Behave badly. In fact, those rebels, those innovators, those people that actually break the mold and create something different, those people that have actually shifted humanity, those people that actually bring big things to life, that creates epic, monumental, powerful change on the planet. They're not afraid of being seen as behaving badly. They're not worried about what other people think. They're so freaking tapped into the fullness of who they are, into their fullest self-expression, their creative capabilities, the magnificence and radiance of their being. They don't give two shits about what other people think. They're not afraid of behaving badly. They're not afraid of being seen as the odd duck. All right, like all of the greatest innovations, all of the greatest ideas have come from people that culturally were deemed insane. Are you willing to be insane? Are you willing to be imperfect? Are you willing to be a work in progress and a masterpiece simultaneously? Are you willing to actually be the fullness of you? Okay? Because look, here's the deal. Yeah, we're a bunch of black sheep around here. If you follow me, hi, welcome to the Black Sheep Club. This place is fun, though. We create, we dance on tables when necessary. You know, you like gotta keep people on their toes. All right. And if you were looking for a safe space where you can begin to behave badly, or really begin to practice and flex this muscle of self-expression and exploration, please come join us in the Beehive. It's in the description. If you are a queen, when you're ready to step into the fullness of you, that's a safe place to come be. It's a private group. You don't have to worry about your job thinking that you're being crazy. Come be crazy with us. We love your crazy. We love your crazy. Okay? Like really what we're about is, rather than being worried about people pleasing and procrastination and perfectionism and making sure that you're on your best behavior, could you be more obsessed? Could you be more in tune with your questions, your queries, your curiosities, your quirks, your queendom, Because you beautiful being, you're not here. You're not actually here to please anybody else. You're not actually here to be on your best behavior. The old rules, the old like 3D method of operation does not work, number one, in this new energy. Number two, probably never really worked for you anyway if you're here and you're watching this. Okay, I say that because I tend to attract energies and personalities that are black sheep. I tend to attract people that do not like to be put in a mold. They like to be themselves, and they're discovering how to be more of that on the planet. So high five for that. All right, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Maybe you don't fit in with the old paradigm because you are here to cultivate a new one. I can tell you, we don't get to the new paradigm. We don't get to the new way of being. We don't get there by playing by old rules. Okay, like how could you? If you are obsessed with playing by the rules, well, my business has to look like this. The ideas have to happen like that. It has to go like this. My relationship must look like this. Well, does it really have to? Could you maybe be the conscious creator that you are and begin to choose some things that actually work for you? To hell with whether or not anybody else agrees with it. What works for you? Who are you? What is the fullness of you? Because look, there's a whole bunch of rules about what it's supposed to be like. There's a whole bunch of rules around like, what you have to do. And they've preached a whole bunch of things like you've got to be uber independent. You've got to do it all on your own. And it's got to look this way. And you got to do this first. And this, and this. And that checklist is literally the cage that's keeping you from your success. Now, here's the deal. You've got to be willing. I just saw 2222, right place, right time, right people. You've got to be willing to actually go within yourself. And you need to be willing to look crazy with yourself first. Okay? You got to be willing to look crazy with yourself first. This friend says, I do accounting. I do have to follow those rules. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I got to follow traffic rules. It'd be really unsafe to just start running red lights. Okay, so like, blend with this. You're cooking dinner, you bust out a recipe. You don't have to follow the recipe exactly. You could like kitchen witch that shit. Turn out more magical. Are you willing to like actually kitchen witch your life? Are you willing to actually have some self-expression in your life? Are you willing to like, and you know what? Like, I get it. I get it. Not everybody is like so willing to take big, badass, wild, scary leaps of faith like I am. I'm probably extreme. Oh my gosh. I created a ski team when I was younger. It was just a 2-person ski team, but it was Willow's Extreme Ski Team because my nickname was Stream, like Brooke. Get it? Like I know I'm an odd one. I leap always before I'm ready. I don't really give a crap what anybody else thinks. I know that everything's always happening for me. And so like, I don't know, go with it. The shorthand of the Serenity Prayer is fuck it, roll with it. But I'm really wondering like how much more possibility could open up for you if you weren't so concerned about, you know, doing it right, getting other people's approval. How many places have you been like, oh, what are they going to think about me? What if they don't approve? What will they do? I mean, like, again, if you following your truth, if you finding your true north and you chasing it, whatever that looks like for you, if you being fully self-expressed is really that offensive to the people in your life, why the hell have they been in your life for so long? Because for real, like if you could destroy a relationship by you embodying the fullness of you, by you being true to yourself, by you chasing your dreams, by you saying what's on your heart, by you creating, by you expressing, if you could destroy anything in your life by you being that, what can I say besides you're welcome? Because those things were never actually a fit for you in the first place. And I got it. Oh my God, Brooke, that breaks my heart. I don't want to think about that. I love this thing or this person so much. And you know what? I got it. But like, man, if you've got to twist yourself into a pretzel, if you've got to chop off bits of you, if you've got to turn down the volume of who you are, if you've got to be worried about walking on eggshells or stepping on people's toes, and that is how you're living your life, please, please, please go take a good hard look in the mirror today, because if you're honest with yourself, you're not really living your life. And if you're honest with yourself, you're probably not fulfilled or happy, even if you're saying that you are. You know, a lot of times we're not right-sized, we're not accurate with our description of how we are actually feeling. We have a tendency to exaggerate one direction or the other, and we are very rarely right-sized. So we say things like we're fine, which really means I'm freaking out, I'm insecure, I'm neurotic, and I'm emotional. All right, so are you saying that you're fine somewhere? Because saying I'm fine is a way of behaving and fitting in with a culture that you have just been taught doesn't actually give a crap enough about you to hear how you really are. I'm gonna blow that shit up. Because look, like when you're being the fullness of you, there is a strength and a force and a flow and a beauty that is so powerful, that is so profound, that it can create. It's a Grand Canyon behind us, y'all. Crazy fun fact, the Grand Canyon was carved literally like one sheet of paper of thickness at a time. Slowly, slowly, slowly. So don't think that there's not power in going with the flow. There is. All right, my friend, what do you say? Yes, this includes your biological family. They don't like the untamed me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I relate to that. My family really, really, really dislikes the untamed me. Because the me that they had before was the me that they had put in a cage and that they had shackled and then they had confined. And it was easy to pick at me. It's probably still easy to pick at me. I just don't give two shits. I don't even give one shit. So there. They don't like you untamed. They don't like you untamed because, look, every single space in your life, every single area that you're willing to step more fully into the truth of who you are is a space that they then have to go look at in themselves. And most people don't want to go there because they're scared. They're totally terrified. Oh my God, what would I find out? You don't want to like admit that, oh my gosh, look at Brooke being all bold, living her best life, being happy no matter what gets thrown her way. Look at Brooke taking wild leaps of faith, stepping into the unknown, creating things that have never been seen before, being willing to do things differently. Look at Brooke being willing to be outspoken. Oh my God, you're not supposed to share that outside the four walls of this home, but here she is doing it. Okay? Yeah, I'm the difficult one. I'm the complicated soul. I'm the rebel. I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that talks too loud and moves too fast and is way too in my muchness for most people to handle. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if people can't handle you in their muchness, they don't deserve you at any point. because your muchness is the fullness of who you are. It is magnificent. It is dynamic. It is influential. It is eccentric. It is quirky. And your muchness will show up differently than mine, and that's the beauty of it, isn't it? But if people can't handle your muchness and they require that you dim yourself down to be in their presence, then you should walk your muchness right out of their presence. Because you, my friend, are a gift. A beautiful blooming gift. Something from beyond. And quite frankly, like if you're swimming in fish tanks with those that can't see the fullness and magnificence of you, then you like just bust out some old in sync and you go, bye, 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 bye. Okay, like for real. Because when you're willing to leave that fish tank, and I see some people on here that have been doing that, and I like high five, I'm so proud of you. When you're willing to leave the small fish tank that is no longer serving you, and you're willing to swim out into the sea and discover the depths of who you truly be. When you are willing to do that, and you are willing to cut ties with the piranhas and the crocodiles of your past, and you're willing to just be the fullness of you, you're going to find a whole playground of people that actually resonate with you now. You're going to find a whole universe of new connections and great opportunity. And like, quite frankly, even in the gap, because there's always a gap. There's always a gap between like where you are and where you want to be. There's always this space in between. But look, if you're being the fullness of you, this space that's in between is fulfilling. Because you're being you. And this space in between doesn't need to be something terrifying because you're being you. And when you're being you, you're actually present in the moment. When you're consumed about whether or not you are on your best behavior and you're pleasing someone else, you're not in the moment, you're in their reality. And honestly, most of those people that require that from you, their reality is actually trash. It's trash. And so what you're doing when you're doing that, you're like, oh, well, I really want to make sure that you like me. I really want to make sure that you stick around with me because I'm so terrified of being alone. I'm just going to come get into your trash can with you. Yuck. Ew, yuck. Ew, yuck. Hashtag ew, yuck. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. All right. I'm going to wrap this up because I got another call to jump on. What if you actually just being you, what if you let go of like, I need to be behaving, I need to be fitting in, I need to look a certain way. Oh my God, so-and-so's mad at me. No, they're mad at themselves because they're seeing something in you that they wish they had. They're seeing something in you that is so dynamic and so profound and so magnificent that they actually try to shrink and reduce you, hoping that it will stop you so that they don't have to look at their own stuff. All right? So one of the fastest ways that we can actually take our power back, that we can actually be all of us, is we can just acknowledge that when people are expecting us to be super PC and do things a certain way, that is just them speaking to you about the limits within their own reality. They're just showing you their belief system. And honestly, most of those are total BS. We're in a new energy. Things operate differently. We are in a time where the feminine is stepping up into leadership. This looks different than anything we've ever had before. And you know what? We're about to be breaking some rules, babes. That was a patriarchal, male-dominated era that we were in, and we are not there anymore. And I love. Let me just say this. I have magnificent men in my life. Magnificent. Amazing men, beautiful men, loving men, kind-hearted men. And I love them. And I don't work like them. And this new energy doesn't work like that used to work. And we're not in the 3D, and it's not hustle and grind, and it doesn't need to look like that. It is not competition. It is collaboration. It is not independence. It is interdependence. The new things that are going to pop up on this planet actually require a village. There's a reason why they say it takes a village. It does. And so if minding your P's and Q's and being on your best behavior means that your business fits a book that looks like it used to, well, it doesn't anymore, and it doesn't need to. So I'm just looking for the fellow queens that have some gifts, that have some genius, that have some kind of magnificence, that are ready to step into something greater. Because we're ushering in a new paradigm. There is something different brewing here that has never been seen before, and it is inclusive, and it is contributory, and it is generous, and it is generative, and it is nurturing, and it provides immense value and deep-rooted stability that can reach to the heavens because it is so solid and so real, and it does not happen. It does not happen in the old way. That book is done. That book is closed. That chapter is over, and a new era is dawning. And we are the ones to literally straighten your crown, queen, because we are the ones to bring it earthside. And we do it by who we are willing to be. Oh gosh, I'm all tingly. I like when I get all tingly. How fun is that? All right, so build it. They will come. Queens, we're building something substantial. We're building something real. We're building something lasting. And I'm so glad that you're along for the ride. All right. Go bust through the blocks. Go break the rules. Go be your badass self. Don't worry about who you offend. Here's the deal. People are offensive. Being offended is a choice. And it's not my problem if me being me offends other people. And it's not yours either. Okay? Also, one last thing I just wanted to say. Someone's talking about me. Someone has something to say. Masculine energy. Interesting. My eyes have been really cloudy today. I have like 20/15 vision. I got them fixed a couple years ago, but I've got to say this. I'm super in tune with the collective energy, and my eyes have been really cloudy today. Like it's hard to focus, and there's cloudy spots when I try to look at things. And so I'm just wondering, where has your vision been cloudy? Where have you been so busy, like trying to fit into the rules, trying to, where is illusion getting the best of you? Where are you not fully seeing? That would be the last message for today. All right. Much love. It's the Queen Bee. I'm out.